Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week of Kingdom Builders. What? Business University. We are so excited that you are here. Thank you for joining us. Listen, if this is your first time watching, my name is KB.MichelleGreen. KB stands for Kingdom Builders. This is the Kingdom Builders Enterprise, and we are so thankful that you are joining us today. Listen, we want to get into our message that we are bringing to you every single Wednesday from 12 until 12:30, handling business. That's right. We provide business strategies and secrets. Business secrets. What are secrets? The things that we don't know about, the things that we are trying to figure out as entrepreneurs. And if you are a business owner, then listen. You need to go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you never ever miss another episode of the Kingdom Builders Business University TV show and podcast. That's right. If you don't have the opportunity to watch us, then you have an opportunity to actually listen to us on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Music. Apple Podcasts, excuse me. So, yes, if you are trying to get information about being a business owner, if you are trying, even thinking about being a investor, which is a business owner that provides business services for other businesses. That's right. So you could be a business owner, you could be a self-employed person who is just starting out in their journey as a business owner, trying to figure things out. You could be an investor. It doesn't matter where you fall on the spectrum of entrepreneurship. This is the message for you. So we are Kingdom Builders Business University, and we're here to help you to strategize and to get those secrets out to you so that you can understand how to be a better business owner. So that is what we are all about. So thank you for watching. And let's stop right here and just make sure that you share this with an entrepreneur. I know you know somebody who is a business owner. I know that you know somebody who is doing business right now, and maybe they're struggling trying to figure out how to do business by themselves, but they don't have to do that. So I want you to go ahead and let somebody know right now by sharing this video with them, sharing this podcast with them, and letting them know that, hey, they need to come on in the room so that they can get some secrets about business, right? Okay, listen, I have been in business for over 30 plus years, and I'm here to drop some knowledge with you guys. And today, our topic is about handling religion and politics as a business owner. So I know that that's going to be something that interests you guys, and something that maybe no business owner has ever talked to you about personally, but you have had to deal with it silently. So we're going to get into that in just a minute. But first, I want to give a shout out to CTR Media Network, where we stream on their platform to 3.6 billion viewers every single day in 175 countries. So thank you for watching, guys, and thank you for allowing us to be on your network, CTR Media. Let's listen. Let's give a shout out to Dr. Tina J. Ramsey and Curtis Ramsey for allowing us to even be a part of such a magnitude of people all over the world. That's right. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your network. Listen, so we want to get into this topic today. And I was just thinking as I was taking, brushing my teeth this morning, showering, just getting ready to come on live to talk to you guys. I was just thinking about, what is it that we know about religion? What is it that we know about politics? What are our belief systems and values and morals around these two topics that seem to be such a intense like type of thing that tightens us up when it comes to our clientele or our employees, our vendors, our suppliers, or people that we are networking with as a business owner. So I just want to start first of all with the understanding of what is religion. What do we think religion is, and what is politics, and how we need to conduct ourselves as it relates to being a business owner, dealing with people, whether it is a client, whether it is a vendor, supplier, whether it is somebody that is a grantor or lender. How do we deal with people who have different belief systems than what we do? And maybe someone who is a part of a different party than what we are. Okay, so how do we handle ourselves in the business arena as it relates to that? So I want to just start out with, listen, let's talk about the definition of religion. So when I think about religion, I think about having a particular belief or a doctrine from several different components. When I think about religion, I think about there is a worldwide level of religious beliefs or beliefs around a divine being, someone who is the one that created us, the one that we believe that created us and that we are supposed to be led by, with certain particular characteristics and natures around who it is that we are supposed to follow. So when I think about religion, I don't just think about the religion that I was brought up in. I don't think about just the idea of, okay, there is someone bigger and greater than me, and I didn't create myself. So I think about, the whole entire world has their own concept of who it is that created them and who it is that they should be led by. Am I right? We have a whole world of people, a plethora of people. And even though I was brought up in a very strict foundation, I was brought up in a very strict household to believe in certain things. But when we get older and as we grow, especially as business owners, that belief system may change, it may adjust a little bit, and sometimes we just come out of it altogether. So, the foundation of what I want to say about religion is it is a cultural, sometimes a cultural belief system. Then we can go into just our own made up beliefs. It can be our own doctrines or the things that we decide to value. When we look at our religions all across the world, there are people in different religions that have no clue about the things that we may believe in. And when we have a client or we have a vendor, supplier, or maybe even a grantor who is going to lend us money, a creditor, a lender, someone that is going to provide us a credit card or a loan, and then we get into that office and we sit down with them, and then, or we get on that virtual call with them or on the phone, and we're like, I don't really know if I really want to do business with them. Well, let me just explain to you. If you have a solid foundation in your belief system, listen, don't knock anybody else's belief system. What we have to understand is that there are components of the beliefs from all over the world, from different aspects, from different books, from different things that everybody believes. So, why would we put it on ourselves to say that ours is the only one that should be believed? Okay, why would we put it on ourselves to say that the way that we were brought up, even though there are billions, I'm talking about like 8 billion people, I believe, it might be more than that, that are in existence in the world today. And why would we confine our minds to such a small category of believing that, hey, we cannot come outside of the little boxes that we are captured in when we grow up in a certain culture or we believe things in a certain way? Listen, if we really truly have the core foundation characteristics of whoever it is that we believe, then we will at least, at minimum, respect what somebody else is believing. We will respect it to a degree that they believe in something that is greater than themselves, and there will be a level of respect that, hey, I'm not here to change your mind. I'm not here to make you believe one way or the other. I have my beliefs and I respect your beliefs. And that is how we conduct ourselves as business owners. See, we got to understand that the world has all different sorts of information. And not to say that one set of information is absolutely all the truth. Because I have found out, even in the different religious backgrounds that I came from, there are some things that were very conflicting, and I had to go on a journey to find out myself what it is that I would consider to be my foundation and what I believe in. So, if you have a situation around someone who is working within your organization, or maybe you have someone who is maybe providing some type of service or product to your business, or even if you have someone who is literally maybe providing a loan or a grant or something to your organization that has a whole different set of beliefs and cultural backgrounds around a divine or higher power. Listen, do not disrespect them. Do not disrespect them in the sense of trying to put your beliefs and your cultural background on them, but embrace the difference. Embrace the difference to a degree that you are still going to stand on what you believe, but at the same time, allow them to stand on what they believe. You don't need to change anybody's beliefs. You don't need to adjust anybody to what it is that you think that is absolutely true. You just need to continue to live your life, because if you live your life the way that it should be lived, then people sometimes will look at your life and maybe they can adjust their beliefs and their values, their morals based on what? Based on what you are living like. See, when we think about just core foundational principles of respect, we look at, are you a person who is kind? Are you a person who is loving? Are you a person who is mean and nasty and you think that you just got it going on and nobody can tell you anything? Are you a person who possibly is, very gentle and loving and has patience? These are attributes that are foundational all throughout the earth. So, as it relates to what somebody believes, I think that we need to take off of the equation of what the name of our creator is and what the person is and what they feel like that they believe about this particular deity, into more so the characteristics around what it is that they are implementing in their day-to-day lifestyle. So when we think about religion, when we think about the cultural belief system, the foundation should be in our characteristics. So are they a person who is treating you well, and are you treating them well to exemplify what you believe? What are your core values? Are you an honest person? Are you a person who tells lies? Are you a person who treats people well? Are you a person who is gentle and kind? Do you have joy? Are you a person that's mean and nasty all the time and nobody wants to be around that? See, when we look at religion, I really think that we got to take off the table all of the different components of where we got our information from and really look at the foundational core characteristics of who it is that we are representing. So if we have a deity, a God that we believe in, what does your God represent? When we think about ourselves in our own lives, I think that many of us need to go back to the drawing board and really analyze, what is it about the deity that we believe in that is so foundational that we believe that this is the right way to be in our everyday life. See, if we take religion off the table and we just look at the fact that we all were created by someone or something, right? We were created and we are here. So, what is it that we need to do to live our best and most effective and efficient life? If we are looking at religion, we're looking at the characteristics, the core foundation of what allows the religion to be able to continue to go on every day and allow us to be able to flourish and grow. If we are looking at religion from a perspective of, this is what I was taught and this is the way it has to go, then we might need to go back to the drawing board and analyze that, are we really presenting the characteristics of something that is going to be beneficial and going to be something that will help us to expand and increase in our life and make it better instead of making it worse? Because when we talk about living, when we talk about life and where we came from and all the different aspects of what everyone believes, I think that we all have pieces that are missing. I think that that we all don't know it all. I think that we all have something that we could actually, if we were to just calm down and sit down and look at what someone else is believing in, I think that if we all pulled it all together, that we could kind of, we could kind of see some similar characteristics. We could kind of see some similar characteristics in that either we're believing in something that is right, or either we're believing in something that is wrong. And that is the foundation of religion from the KB.MichelleGreen perspective, okay? So if we would just begin to like take a load off instead of being so strict and so forward with our particular way of doing things, then we could learn a lot from someone with a different belief system, a different religion. We could learn a whole lot from somebody else if we would just calm down and understand that we're not going to be intimidated or fearful that they're going to change our minds, and we're not going to be intimidated or fearful that they're going to come on over to believe what we believe. So that is my takeaway on religion as a business owner. How you should handle yourself is based on your characteristics, your foundation of living a very well lifestyle, just as a human being that has been created and that is here in the world to offer your gifts, skills, or talents, to be able to sell your products and offer your services. Listen, how do you act as a person? I think that that is the bottom line as it relates to religion and the conducts that we have established in our life. And some of us need to take off the table some of the characteristics that we have implemented, because it's not necessarily beneficial to our human life, nor is it beneficial to our business life. Okay. So just think about that for a second. Just think about where your spirit is being led. And are you being a person who is doing the right things? Are you being a person that's doing the wrong things? And what are your beliefs and your foundations in your character? How do you act every day, no matter who's in the room, no matter what person that you are connecting with? How are you conducting your life? Okay, so let's just stop there and think about that for a second. Now I'm going to transition over to politics. Now, when we think about politics, we think about a lot of different things. So we don't all have the same perspective as it relates to politics as it is in religion. Just like in religion, we got a lot of different religious backgrounds, we got a lot of different denominations, and we have a lot of different, different cultures of what we came from. The same is true for politics. Number one, politics is the activity of being able to settle affairs in government. So it's usually an organization that is organizing a group of people in a particular sector or a particular society that is going to eventually have a certain way for us to live or to be governed. So when we think about government, let's just start there as a foundation as we talk about politics. Politics are our foundation of understanding how we are going to govern ourselves. So it is kind of interrelated to the religion. If we think about it for a second, that we are still looking at a core foundation of character. We're looking at in politics, how do we want the community, the neighborhood? How do we want our countries and our nations, our continents even to be governed? How are the people in your particular area of where they live? How do they function? What is it that they do? How do they celebrate things? What kind of music do they listen to? When we think about governing, we want to think about what kind of foods are eaten, and we want to think about governing and the aspect of what kind of houses do we live in, and what kind of vehicles do we drive, or what kind of transportation is this. And when we think about politics, we want to think about government and how we're being governed by communication. How are we being governed by education? How are we being governed? How do we govern ourselves every single day as it relates to where we are in the world, And how do we govern ourselves with our neighbors, with our family members, our friends? How do we govern ourselves? How do we actually live every single day as it relates to politics? And so what happens is we tend to begin to choose sides on how we choose to live. So when it relates to being a business owner and you're dealing with someone that has a different political background or political belief, it's very similar for us to understand that the bottom line about politics is all about how we govern our lives. So, how do we function as people, as business owners? How do we function in the things that we believe that are laws that should be passed down based on the things that we think are right or wrong? So, there we are again. We are seeing a common thread among some of the toughest conversations that we have probably ever had in our lives. When we look at religion, we look at politics, we're looking at people who have organized a society or a group of people who have decided that they are going to follow a certain way of living, and they are going to create a organization that is going to go forward with that particular belief. So when we think about politics and we begin to choose sides, what we got to understand about politics, first of all, is there is always going to be a leader. There's always going to be somebody that is leading the organization, that is leading your city, that's leading your county, that's leading your neighborhood, your community, that's leading your state, that's leading your nation, and even your whole continent. So when we think about politics, we want to understand the foundation of politics is all about how we govern our lives. So why are we so angry? Why are we so upset when somebody else has a whole different perspective about how they want to govern their life? Why are we so upset about when someone says that they have a different opinion about how things should be ran, who should run the things, and how they should be conducted in order for government to take over or to decide that everybody should live a certain way? See, we don't need to really get so deep involved in the fact that government is just about how we have decided that we are going to govern our life. Did you know that even though you may be a part of a particular party, like in the United States, we have Democrat, we have Republican, we have liberals, we have so many different people that have organized a society to believe a certain way. But when we think about it, why would we be upset if it's something that we believe, if it's something that is driving the force of our government, of our life? Why are we so upset? We should not be upset. We should just learn how to work together in the governing policies and procedures of where we live. That's all we got to do. Listen, we all want what's best, am I right? Or at least we should. We should want what is best for our life and what's best for their lives and what's best for this person's life. And I know that we all don't think exactly the same, but when it comes to governing, we just got to understand that there has to be a leader, there has to be a people or a group of a community or some sort of people that are listening to the leaders to help to govern the rest of the people that are involved in the body of that government. So if we're thinking about one individual that is the leader, and then that leader has maybe 12 people who they are going to give instructions to, and those instructions will come down the line that everyone in this particular territory has. The 12 people have 50 people apiece or 70 people apiece, and each person is going to break it down to the smallest common denominator to pass on the way that we should live so that we all can get along, so that we all can have the benefits and privileges of the land that which we live in. So when we think about politics, why are we like banging our head up against a wall? Why are we deciding that we are so against the opposing party when we all have to understand that as it relates to politics, So what if there are different societies that have been established? What matters at the end of the day is how we decide to govern our individual lives. There is no one that is stopping us from living a life that we have chosen to govern in ourselves. Did you know that we all have been part of a whole equation of being able to have our own self control? Did you know that we have the ability to govern ourselves a certain way? That even though we may be a part of a particular party, that we still have the opportunity as a human being to govern our lives in a certain manner. And that falls down into the foods that we eat, the places where we live. That falls down into the clothes that we wear. That falls into our way of communication. It falls into our transportation and all of the things that it takes for us to live. So, why are we trying to get everybody to decide to be on a certain party? Listen, there are always going to be similarities in the parties that are in politics. There are always going to be things that we can find that are alike. And instead of us finding so many things that are different, why don't we begin to change and look at the things that we have in common? Like, we are all human beings. We have heads, we have bodies, we have feet, we have hands. Possibly, and for those of us who haven't lost those things, those items. But listen, collectively, we are all human. We are all human beings, and regardless of what it is that we think that we need to push on someone else about how to govern our lives, at the end of the day, we all have the ability to govern ourselves appropriately. So we get to choose who we are and how we're going to choose to live our life every single day. Listen, if you have enjoyed today's message on how to handle yourself as a business owner, then listen, when it relates to politics, when it relates to religion, when it relates to just being a business owner, I want you to know that you can go to KBBULLC.com and we can get into a individual strategy session and talk about this in more depth and how to handle your business with people who have strong political beliefs and how to handle people who have strong religious backgrounds. Because I come from, like I said, I have studied quite a bit of religion and also politics and government. I've studied those things as a core foundation. And I found out that even though a lot of us want to say that we're so different, I found that if we could just stop for a moment and begin to realize that we are more alike than we are different, then this world would be a whole better place. Listen, if you want more information about these things and also how to set up your business, how to manage your money, get funded, get some business credit, go over there and set up your automations, learn more about artificial intelligence and how to set up course curriculums and become a coach or whatever it is that you want to do, even marketing, media, and sales. We offer all of those things in an associate certification, a bachelor certification, and a VIP master certification. So, what am I saying about today's message? I'm saying that regardless of the topic that we have every single Wednesday from 12 to 12:30, you have the opportunity to get into KBBU and let's have a conversation about what things we can help you to improve, regardless of your politics, your political background, and your religion, because we understand that we are more alike than we are different. So if you've learned something from today's message, I want you to go down below and make a comment about what you learned from today. We got to understand that it's all about right and wrong. It's all about our values. It's all about the characteristics of things. And we have to learn how to become people who are more alike than we are different. And at the end of the day, That's living your best life. Listen, did you know that we have a book called Living a Successful Life that is out there available for you to make purchase of? Did you know that I am also a co-author of Finding Your Joy in the Journey as a Child Care Educator? Listen, I just launched that book on Sunday, so if you're interested in making a purchase, hit us up 855-522-8552. We'd love for you to get more information and details on our perspective and views, just like I've shared with you today. All right, until next week, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.